Both giving and receiving feedback is important in effective communication. And effective communication is when what we say is received and interpreted, and we are receiving, hearing, and understanding, interpreting what the other person is saying. And feedback is key because it helps us to improve, especially the negative feedback. And I'm bringing this up because I think it has to do with honesty when we get down to the root cause of when we are not maybe having or engaging in effective communication. We're probably not saying exactly what it is we mean. And now, why might that be? Sometimes we can have some fear around giving feedback for fear that the other person is not going to receive well the information that we're sharing. So of course we want to try to be as tactful and kind and maybe even encouraging as possible, especially if we are or you are in a leadership role when giving that negative feedback. But we're each going to come to the situation with different perspectives, and this is very valuable. This is one of the great things about having the benefit of being in a team, because we can learn from each other's different perspectives. But if we're too afraid to speak up and share feedback that is considered negative, maybe not ideal, maybe not positive, maybe not optimal, then we are likely preventing that person or withholding information that could help the other individual improve. So of course we want to we want to consider how we share the negative feedback, but we don't want to be so concerned, I think, with how we're going to share the information that we end up not saying anything at all. And I think that this happens a lot. We're afraid that the other person is not going to receive well what we want to share, so we just maybe don't say anything. And then what happens is we create opportunities for we lose out rather on the opportunity for connection. And connection is understanding between one another. We don't always have to agree, but when we have that understanding, we feel closer to the other person and we feel a connection. And we want to feel connected both in our personal life but also at work. That's going to, the more connection that we have with our managers and with our customers, the harder we're going to work and want to work for them. But we lose potentially a level of that, or we lower the level of connection when we're not being honest with our communication, with our feedback. And of course, there's a way to do that. But first, you want to ask yourself if you're being honest with yourself, because if you're not being honest with others, you may not be being honest with yourself. And then what happens is we end up staying in situations and or putting up with things that don't feel right. And then this can create feelings of course, discomfort, but it can also get us further and further out of alignment.